It is said that the greatest of the arts is architecture, and the greatest facet of architecture is confectionery, the making of sweet things. Well, you don't need the skill of an architect, or even much skill with chocolate, to make the delightful biscuit Florentine. Nuts and candied fruits in a biscuit covered with chocolate. Absolutely splendid and very quick to make. The first thing I do is to prepare a baking tray simply by putting in a sheet of baking paper. Next, I mix up some dry goods, starting with nuts, chopped nuts. I use a mixture. Almonds, a couple of tablespoons. Pecans, or you could use walnuts, again, a couple of tablespoons. And macadamias, Australia's own nut, a couple of tablespoons. They're just roughly chopped. I need some largish pieces for this recipe. And then I need to mix the nuts with dried fruits, some glacé cherries, about a tablespoon, some sultanas, again, about a tablespoon, and I add crystallised ginger, you guessed it, 1 tablespoon. This is, of course, Australian ginger. We grow heaps of it and export it around the world. Now I also add a little dried citrus peel, again a tablespoon, and some cinnamon, but this time a very small quantity indeed, just 1/4 teaspoon. I put in some plain flour, 3 tablespoons, and mix it all up enthusiastically. Then in a pan I melt butter and add sugar, about 3 heaped tablespoons of butter and about 4 tablespoons of sugar. Once the sugar has melted, the mixture is poured into the dry ingredients quite quickly. And I put dollops onto the baking paper, allowing some space around each one to allow for spread. I press down to form circles. These can be as rough as you like. And they go into the oven to be baked at 180 degrees C for between 8 and 10 minutes, depending on the size and whether you use a fan-forced oven, which of course will be quicker than a convection oven. As soon as they're cooked, they're shaped neatly, pushed together to hold into shape, although bits may still fall off, you can eat those separately, and allowed to cool. To the chocolate. I melt chocolate in a bowl over a pan of hot water, making sure that no water comes into contact with the chocolate, because the chocolate will seize. I stir in some butter, and when I have a wonderfully smooth mixture, I spread it onto the biscuits and finish by making tracks with the tines of a fork. And there it is, Florentines. How simple was that? Degree of difficulty, I think low to medium. Preparation time about 25 minutes to half an hour, including cooking. Keepability, they keep several days in an airtight container, but they shouldn't be put in the fridge because the chocolate will sweat. As you can tell, a totally amateur confectionery person can actually do this kind of thing. Just have. The biggest challenge is to wait long enough for them to cool and become brittle and beautiful. The Consuming Passions Florentine. So, from Consuming Passions till next time, bon appetit. Sorry team, we'll just have to wait.